Migration Agent of Aussizz Group, Sydney. Today, I'm here with another live session, and it's about the recent updates in regards to general skill migration. I'll just wait for some more viewers to come, and then I'll start my topics in regards to general skill migration. And I'll be giving you the updates regards to the NSW updates, as well as South Australia, and also some of the invitation round updates from the Victoria too. So I'll just wait for a few more time, and then once I have enough viewer, then I'll start my topic today. Right. So I believe I do have some people here, and so this is on the live session, and I'm going to talk about general skill migrations updates. And as of now, so we have all the occupation list and the nomination criteria for all the states and territories. And this week, the Victoria did the first round of invitation for this financial year, and we also have updates from the NSW as well as South Australia this week. So as you know that this year allocation number for the 190 and 491 has been reduced significantly. So which means that there will be a high competition to get invited, and all the states have advised applicants to look for the other alternative pathways to apply for the visa. And you can see NSW has only received 2,650 allocation for the 190 and 1,500 allocation for the 491, which is significantly lower than the last financial year. So which means all the applicants residing in NSW, they have to fight, they have to do the high competitions for the small number, because the number has been reduced almost by 70%. So due to such a low allocations across the states, we have seen significant changes in the occupation list and criteria, and some of the easy pathways for the nomination criteria has been taken off too. So let's talk about the NSW first. So NSW has updated its program, and previously they used to publish the occupation list having a specific NGSK unit groups. So however, they are trying to do something different this time. So they don't have occupation list at all. So they do have occupation list. That means like all the 190 occupation lists are eligible, but NSW has clearly mentioned that they will only prioritize certain target sectors. So they have come up with the target sectors, so they will get the first priority in the NSW, and then once they have once they have done with the targeted sector, then they will move to the non-priority occupations. Okay, so the targeted sectors are health, education, information and communication technology, infrastructure, and agriculture. So which means any occupations falling under the target sector will get the first priority. And they have also mentioned that although their focus is on the key sectors, higher ranking EOI submitted in the non-priority sector will also be considered, as long as they have a high points or good number of experience to put in English. So if you are not in the priority target sector, make sure you lodge your EOI with the high points, and also don't forget to include your work experience in the EOI. So now the question may arise, what are those targeted occupations? So under the health sector, occupation like registered nurse, enrolled nurse, physiotherapist, welfare worker, health and wealth services manager, health information manager, etc., they will come under the health sector occupations. Under the education sector, occupation like early childhood teachers, primary and secondary school teacher, education manager will come under. And under the communication and technology sector, all the ICT occupation will fall under the ICT occupations. And under the infrastructure sectors, occupation like civil engineer, structural engineer, architect, architecture draft person, and some trade occupation which are related to the construction will fall under the infrastructure sector. And for the under the agriculture sector, occupations like agricultural consultant, agricultural scientist, agricultural engineer, or agricultural technician, they will fall under the agricultural sector. And NSW has also advised the way to submit the EOI. So if you are submitting a EOI, then your EOI must be valid throughout the assessment period. So which means, like, let's say, like, if you get invited tomorrow, and then during the assessment of your nomination, if your document is expiring, then your UI will be invalid, and then they might refuse the nomination. So you must make sure that your UI must be valid throughout the nomination. And if your UI is about to expire, you need to make sure you lodge the new UI and get the invitation in the new UI. And you must select only NSW for the 190. And if you are selecting other subclass or other states in the EOI, then they are not going to consider. So if you are looking to apply for the 190 in NSW, you must dedicate the EOI for the NSW only, and that for the 190. And also, like, documents must be valid for at least 5 days after lodging the nomination. So if you any documents, let's say like PT, UNATI, or any PY expiring in 5 days after you submit a UI, then they may not consider your claim for those points. And also, like, if you are claiming the experience, then make sure you only claim the experience after the deemed date is mentioned in the skills assessment, or after the qualification completion date. So this is very important. And NSW has clearly announced that one of the reason for getting the nomination refusal is applicant, they just claiming the experience before they qualify for the employment. And NSW has also announced how they will rank the EOI, which means they will consider certain factors before they invite. So first of all, they will look your points, and then they will look your English language score, and then they will look your skill work experience. So that means you need to have a high points, get the superior English, and also include your work experience in the EOI to have a maximum chance of getting invitations from the NSW. So I recommend you to get the high points, get superior English, and also include your experience, even though it is 1 or 2 months. Make sure you include the experience in the UI, so that at least your UI looks better than other applicants. So, and for those occupations which are not in the priority, I'll recommend you to stay at high points with the superior English. Because they have said, like, although their focus is on a priority occupation, but from time to time, they will also invite other non-priority occupations if you are like having a high points, or if you have something which is really demanding, and also like very competitive in regards to other application. And also, this is from the NSW, and we also got the update from South Australia this week. And the South Australia used to be very good state before, but now due to low allocation, they have changed the way they will invite. Now they will now you will need to lodge the ROI before getting invitations. So they have introduced the ROI process to manage the strong demand from the applicants living and working in South Australia against the limited allocations of the nomination places. This means applicants must submit ROI and be invited for the nominations by the South Australia, and they cannot lodge the state nomination directly. They have to apply for the ROI first and wait for the invite, and then only you can lodge the nomination. So under the ROI process, so South Australia also has announced that they will prioritize international graduates who graduated from South Australia, and also the temporary visa holders. So if you see the criteria now for the graduates and as well as the working in South Australia, so they have clearly mentioned that you need to have at least 6 months of work experience, and that is also 30 hours per week. That means if you are on a 485 visa, graduate visa, then you can only work 30 hours per week. So they're trying to attract only the students having a temporary visa holder. So if you are on a let's say like student visa holders, then you will not be able to do the job more than 24 hours. Then you don't qualify for the South Australia nomination. So they have also announced that the overseas workers with the highly skilled demands in the occupation like trade, construction, defense, health, education, natural and physical science, social welfare professional will be invited, will be given a higher priority for the offshore applicants as well. And on top of that, also they have also said they will prioritize highly specialized occupations in the digital and critical technology sectors. Also will get the priority in the South Australia. So South Australia has a graduate stream and working in South Australia. For the graduate stream, those who already graduated from South Australia, now you must be living in South Australia for at least 12 months. And after graduation, you must be working in your occupation for at least 6 months, and that is also 30 hours per week. So that is the applicable for almost all the graduates. So I have gone through most of the occupation, and then this criteria is the standard for all the occupations. Now there is another stream in the South Australia, which is working in South Australia. So for this one, you must be working in South Australia for 6 months. That is also 30 hours per week in your occupation, and you must have been already living there for 12 months. So if you are already there and then have done so for 12 months, then you must be working in occupation for 30 hours per week. Or if you are about to move to the South Australia, then you must be living there for 1 year first, and then you work 6 months, and then you qualify for the working in a South Australia stream. Now, unfortunately, outer regional working stream has been removed, and this was a very good stream before, where the applicant used to get invited by working in any occupations in the outer regional South Australia. So this was a very good stream, but now probably due to the low allocation, this is no longer now. So, but we hope they will bring this back, because there are a lot of applicants living outside of South Australia, and then they are contributing to the skill shortages. So hopefully they will bring this back. So if you are living in outer regional South Australia, so I'll just suggest you to wait there, and then wait for further updates, because the rules and regulations and criteria, they are changing from time to time, and we expect they will bring this stream back again. So now I will start taking the questions, and if you have any questions in regards to the recent updates, and please free to post your questions, and I'll just go one by one, and then I'll start taking the question. So now the first question is from Ashwini. Can a dependent be added to 408 visa holder now? Yes, you can add your dependent in the 408 visa holder. It's just one for the primary applicant. You cannot apply, and if you are already 408, then there is no time limit, so you can apply the dependent visa. So I got a question from Nitesh. So I have got 95 points for 190 and 90 for 189 as a chemical engineer, currently employed in WA. What are my chances? Can I expect invite by the end of this year? I understand it's not yet. Okay, so yes, 95 is a good point. So, and chemical engineer is one of the rarest occupations. So I think you have a very good chance of getting invitation from the WA. So you do have a good chance in terms of the points, also good, and your occupation is also unique. So you should be you have a good chance. So another question from Mike. I'll apply for the skills assessment as an offshore engineer manager with 15+ years of experience, and I have a maximum 75 points in the 189. Should I move ahead for the skills assessment? Is stand a chance? Okay, look, Mike. 15 years of experience is a very good experience, and I understand that you only have a 189, 75 points for the 189. So now the points is not the only the factor. So now what the immigration is looking at it, when you put your 15 years of experience, then you are highly skilled, and so you have a very good chance of getting invitation as well. And then engineer manager is also one of the very rarest occupations. It's not like common occupations. I haven't seen that many applicants having this occupation. And also, like, once you do the skills assessment will be valid for 3 years. So in the 3 years, you might be getting invitation at any time. So there is no harm in lodging the EOI. So I would say you go ahead and then lodge the EOI, and you start the process. Question from Brenda. Can I apply to Australia? How? Okay, so Brenda, so I think the question is incomplete. So it depends, like, if you are looking for the student visa, or if you are already skilled, or looking for the employee sponsor visa or general skill migrations. Yes, definitely, yes, you can apply, but I'll need more further information. So what you can do here is you can leave your details here. So one of our will contact you, or you can contact the nearest Aussizz Group branch. Question from Chandrakant. So I applied 190 in January 2023 with 90 points in IT security. Processing time, please. Okay, so you already applied the visa. So processing times varies from case to case. And so you can see the departments whether you can actually put your lodgement date, and then it will tell the processing time. So as far as I know, processing times have been has gone up now. So it is like 8-9 months, and like for some occupation, like health occupations, we have been getting in grant very soon. So yeah, so we cannot guarantee you will get the visa on a certain date. So but obviously the department has there is a tool where you can track your application, but generally it's 8-9 months for the 190. Okay, question from Murad Ali. I'm working in education sector. My occupation is not directly related to education. Do you have a chance? Okay, so there are some occupations where you don't need a qualification related to your education. So if you have a good number of experience, then even though you don't have a relevant qualification, then there are some chances of getting the positive outcome. So you need to please contact us. So in the nearest Aussizz Group branch, and then we can figure out what sort of your duties and your qualification, and then we'll say. Salman, so is there any update regarding NSW 491, which is about to come as they cleaning the last EMS? So they're gonna use this year 1,500 allocation to nominate whom they invited before by IDS. Is there any chance for increasing allocation? Okay, yes, so you heard it right. So they do have a 1,500 allocation, but in the last financial year, so there were a lot of people, they got the invite and they paid the fees as well, but due to the the allocation number was adjusted, so now they're going to use this financial year allocation for those students, those applicants who were invited. So that's why like you can't see any update for the 491. And look, allocation chances is totally depends upon federal government. So if is up to them, and also the demand for the states. And in the past also we have seen they announce the allocation, and then when there is a high demand, then later on they have also given the additional allocation. So it can happen, anything can happen, but let's see how it goes. Question from Hamza. So, hello, I lost my UI in accountant and external auditor, and I'm on 85 points for 491. Is there any chance for me in Western Australia in this financial year? Okay, so if you are already in Western Australia, so that means they will prioritize you above interstates, because they say like those who are living in Western Australia will get prioritized. So yes, you do have a good chance, but like accountant and external auditor occupations are very common, and the 85 points for the 491 is also not that great. So if you can at least show in a UI that you have a high points, or maybe like you start a job, at least like show in the UI that you have a job, then that will increase your chances. Another question from Nikita. Hello, sir. I'm from New Delhi, and I'm looking forward to work with Aussizz Immigration. I have experience of more than 1 year in onshore and offshore visa processing. Okay, Nikita. Okay, so yes, so you like to work with us. So what you can do here is please send us your details. Then we'll be in touch with you for the working with us. Okay, Mita. So I have a question from Mita. I have lost my file at 75 points from for marketing. Is there any chance? So Mita, so I don't know about what state you're talking about. So if you are talking about the NSW, then so previous year 75 points in the marketing specialist got the invitations. So this year, as you know, like they have announced the targeted sector, and marketing occupation is not one of them. And having a non-priority occupation and 75 points, not that great points. If there is anything to do anything that you can do to increase your points, then please increase. Otherwise, there are also like other states, for example, in Canberra, and where you can, if you get a job, then you can get the matrix, high matrix, and then get the invitation. So yes, contact Aussizz Group for the for the further discussion. So the question from Sheikh Sohil, 75 points for mechanical design engineer. What are chances? Right. So what state are you talking about? So if you are talking about just the 189, then fair chance. And if you are talking about the states like NSW, then you must be having a high points. And so if you are talking about other states, then it also depends upon your experience, how you get the 75 points. I would like to I'd like to have more. I'd like to see your resume or profile more, because it's not the points only. It depends upon whether you have experience or not, and what state you are trying to apply, and what state you are living, and other nomination criteria. So I would like to see your complete profile. Okay, question from Fred. I'm based in Adelaide and moving to conference event organizer, 17 years of experience in event sales, different on the other side. After 1 year, I'll have 75 points, 491. Okay, so you are in Adelaide. So if you are in Adelaide, so first of all, you must be living there for 1 year, and then you must be working there for 6 months. So if you have done this, then you have a very good chance. So other option for me is ICT business analyst after doing the PY and finding a job in business analyst. Which one do you think is better? So other option, ICT business analyst, okay, doing the PY and finding a job in business analyst. Okay, so I would say you do the both, because if you do the PY, then it will increase your points. And also, like, if you do the PY, depending upon your transcript, you might be eligible to apply for another skills assessment as well. So having a PY is a very good. And also, like, getting a job also good, because it will increase your points. And let's say, like, if nothing happens in the general skill migrations because of low points, or maybe like change of criteria, then once you hit 2 or 3 years of experience, then you can ask your employer to sponsor you for the 482 or 186. So it's good to have both. Question from David. So I have 80 points for 190, 75 for 189, aeronautical engineer, currently in NSW, planning to move WA, not working in my field. What are my chances of inviting NSW? So I would say your chances will be more in WA than NSW, because NSW has a priorities, priority sector, and aeronautical engineer is not one of them. And but at least in WA, they have said, like, those who are living in WA will get the prioritize. All the states, they have a priority, occupations like health, construction and education, right? But WA has mentioned that if you are living in WA, then you get the priority first. Question from Vikas. South Australia graduates can apply for the program and project admin under South Australia graduate. Chance of invite. Okay. Yes. So look, South Australia graduate. Yes, so now with the South Australia, graduating is not only the criteria here. So now you must be working there for 6 months. So now after the graduation, you must be working in occupation for 6 months, which is 30 hours per week. So if you have done that one, then you have a very good chance. Also, retail pharmacist with sales 70 points to go for Victoria 190 or 491, which has a higher chance. Okay, retail pharmacist, very tricky questions, because this is tricky in the sense, because we have got the invitations from the Victoria, and they have invited for the 190 as well as the 491 as well. So it depends your income as well. Look, if you want to just get the surety, I'll just say lost the 491, because 190 is highly competitive. Or if there is any room to increase your points for 190, because 190 is direct PR, so the threshold for the 190 is a bit high. But if you just want to be have a peace of mind, go for the 491 too, so higher chances. Rahul, question from Rahul. So South Australia need a skill assessment. South Australia need skill assessment MPA migration point advice for the occupation mechanical engineering technician from TRA. Can I apply MPA without MPA for a state nomination process? Okay, so the reason for asking the MPA is to know like how many years of experience you can apply. And I don't think South Australia MPA point as well. So if you are confused about your points, or maybe like your duties, if you are not sure about whether you can actually apply, get the experience or not, then my recommendation is to go for the MP advice, because once you get the invite and later on in the immigration, doubt, or maybe like you got the nomination and then the question, then you will lose your places, or maybe you lose your money. So it's always better that you have the opinion from the authority, so that if they ask, then you have a letter to provide. Question from Mike. My wife is a market research analyst. Is this occupation available in 190 or 491? Let me double check this occupation for you. So market research analyst, right? I know like this occupation is here, but I'm not so sure whether it is in 190 or not. I'm pretty sure it should be in 190 list. Okay, sorry. So it's only in the 491 list, not in the 190 and 189. Only in the 491 list. Okay, so question from Siam Sid. Enrolled nurse from Sydney having a 55 points of my own. So what scope I am having? Still waiting for the assessment. Okay, Syed. So first of all, your occupation will be enrolled nurse, and then like NSW has announced they will prioritize health occupations. So that means you are going to have one of the prioritized occupations. Now the points is 55 points. If you're having a 55 points, then you can't apply for the 190, because to apply for the 190 you need to have at least 60 points on your one. So now if there is anything that you can get the points and make it 60 points, you can lose the UI for the 192, because you're having a prioritized occupations. If your 55 points is the point that you can get maximum, then you can apply for the 491 and you will still have a chance for the 491 too. Question from Sim. Can you do online study from Metro College on 491? Okay, so if you are on a 491, then you'll see, you check your 491 visa grant, then it will say you must be living and working and studying in regional. So if you are doing a study from the Metro College online, and because it does not mention about where your college should be, right? So as long as you can establish that you were doing online, not traveling to college every day, then you should be fine. But it depends upon where you are living. Let's say like if you are living very close to city, and it might be very difficult for you to prove that you are living in the regional. Or let's say like, for example, you are living in the NSW, like let's say Dubbo, and your college in Sydney, so it's practically impossible for you to travel every day. So that's why the department may think like you were actually living in regional all the time. So it's all about how you prove this thing. Okay, so question from Abdullah. Will I get invitation on 65 points, electronic engineer for 491 from Victoria? WA NSW right now, I'm at offshore and I have applied UI for all this. Okay. NSW, no chance, WA might be, and Victoria might be. So NSW low chance because not in the prioritized occupations. So I'll say out of 3, Victoria, you have a good chance in Victoria. And you apply for the 491. Question from Shiju Patel. Any state we can apply without job with 70 points, ICT business analyst currently in Queensland. Okay, so if you want to apply for, so this is a really good question, and I think it is, I'll answer this question, I think those who are listening. So right, let's say like you're having an occupation now, and then you don't have a job, but still you want to apply for the 190 or 491 or like that visa. Then without having a job, then let's say like, for example, in Canberra, you don't need a job in your field. So you might be doing any job, then you still qualify, because there is a matrix systems where you can still get the points in working in other occupations. So Canberra is one occupation or one state, and Queensland no, because they need you to work in occupations. And Tasmania is another state where you can go there, you study 1 year, and then you work 6 weeks in the field of study, and then you can qualify for the 491. So without even working in occupation, you do qualify for the S1. Right. Question from Sohel, 75 points with 6 years design engineering product design. I'm trying NSW. So are you offshore or onshore? So if you are offshore, you try to load the UI across all the states. And if you are onshore, obviously, then you can only apply onshore and design engineer. So your product design and development, your occupation is unique, and yeah, I would say you have a good chance, but it's still like I need to know whether you are onshore or offshore. If you are offshore, you try to load the UI across all the states. Question from Fred. Thank you for your response. You said have a both PY and focus in business analyst and work as a conference event organizer at the same time. I'm also a South Australian graduate. Okay, so if you are South Australian graduate, then yes, you need to work 6 months. You must be living there for 1 year. And that also applies to business analyst. Then business analyst, then you will be you'll go through the working in a South Australia pathway where the criteria is still the same. You must be living there for 1 year, and then you must be working in your occupation for 6 months. So you work there for 6 months, and then it can be either in business analyst or even organizer, conference organizer. Okay, so another question. Thank you, sir, for your kind reply. But VIC has only 600 places for 491, but 27 places. So too much delay, sir. Okay, look, yes, the allocation places are, reduced for, all the states. So it is not only the Victoria, even the New South Wales and the Canberra, all the places have, low allocations. So there is no harm in applying it. It's just like trying your luck, right? Because retail pharmacies, one of the good occupations, not many people will have that occupation. So having a unique occupation will increase your chances. All right. So there is another question from Mike. Considering my wife has an occupation in 491 only as a market research analyst, so does it mean that engineering manager I have to consider? Yes. So yes, if you are trying to claim the experience for yourself from the partner, then you can only claim the experience in the 491, because her occupation is only in the 491, not in the 190 and 189. Yes, you are right. And question from Deep. Master of Primary and Secondary Teaching with 65 points. What are chances? You have very good chances, but I still say if you have anything that increase your points, do it. It's still good chances, but still do the more points, because there might be other applicants with 70 points or 75 points. Question from Sheikh Sohil, 75 points, mechanical design engineer, 6 years of product engineering, trying to answer offshore. Yeah, look, if you are offshore, then like you apply, all the states, because one of the good thing about being offshore is because they will allow you to apply all the states and territory. You can still apply the Canberra too, because they need only 3 years of experience. So it's still a good chance, but I would suggest you to apply all the states and territory. And then once you get the visa, and then once you stay in a particular state, then you can come to Sydney, NSW. Question from Gihan. What are chances for event and conference organizer with 70 points for 491? I have lost the UI for all the states, NSW waiting for the invitation. Okay. Look, you have lost the UI for all the states. Okay. Yeah, good chance, and I would still recommend you to apply the UI for the NSW, because this is a good occupation too, and not many people will have this occupation. Good chance. Right. Another question from Rahul Patel. Hello, sir. I'm offshore 491 with the 80 points in mechanical engineering technician. Can submit ROI in South Australia. We'll wait for the pre-invite, and my occupation is open for South Australia. Which option is better? Let me see your occupation, whether it is open to offshore applicant or not. So you mentioned mechanical engineering technician. Okay, yeah, your occupation is open, and they said top ranking in that means like they will see whether how many years of experience you have. So if you have generally 3 years of experience, then you have a very good chance for the South Australia. And since you are up, so try to learn the all the states UI, because your occupation is very good. Mechanical engineer technician is very good. Okay, so there is another question from Haider. Hi, is there any information about WA round? So WA round, there is no latest information about WA round. Once we have it, then we can you will see in our social media post. So this week we only got the information from the Victoria, so not from the WA. Right. So so if you have any questions in regards to general skill migration, please feel free to ask. So I got another question from Ome, and I'm offshore guy, graphic designer. What are my chances? Occupation is good. I don't know about the points. If you have a good points, let's say like 80, 90 points, you do have a good chance, and also depends upon your experience as well. So nowadays, if you are applying for the Australian migrations, then you need to have a unique occupation first, and then points, and then experience. Okay, so if you have all these 3 things, then you have a very good chance. So, but if your occupation is very common occupations like accountants and no experience, then because they still invite, but the number of invitations will be very less, because there are a lot of applicants waiting for the invitations under that occupations. Question from Mike. What is the meaning of currency of industry skills referred by MLC for skills? So that means like they want to know whether you are still in the in the profession or not. So they want to know whether you are still in the profession or not. The currency of industry skill means they want to know whether you are still in the working occupation or not. Question from Header. My second question is, I am living in WA, have a skill as a civil engineer. Can I apply on other state? Okay. I don't think you can apply if you are living in WA. You cannot apply in other states. Civil engineer is one of the highly demanding occupation in WA. You should be getting invitation from WA. I don't think you should be applying other states. You should be getting an invitation from WA itself. Okay, guys. I'm still taking a few more questions, and if you have any questions, please feel to ask, or if you have any other questions or need face-to-face consultations in regards to your general skill migrations, or maybe employee sponsor visa, or any other partner visa, or student visa, or 485 visa, or any other migration questions, then you can reach out to our nearest Aussizz Group branch. We are located in almost all the states of Australia, and we have more than 40+ migration agents, and they can help you with your migration journey in Australia. So I'll just stay here for a few more minutes, and then I'll see if I have any more questions. If not, then I'll end my presentation today. All right. Hi everyone. So I'm about to end my presentation today. If you have any questions, you can leave a question here. So I do have another question from Jen. I have a 75 points working as a marketing specialist. Do I try for more points, or I apply for the PR or wait? So and if I could, then which one to apply? Look, general skill migration is all about the point system, right? So 75 points, okay. So while you're still waiting for the invite, if there is anything to do, anything that you can do to increase the points, you always do it, because more points means less competitions. So when they want to invite the marketing service occupation, then your UI will be top of the list, and then you get the invitations. So do not wait. do everything that gives the points, do PT, get superior English. If there is, like let's say NATI to be done, do that one and increase your points. So how much is the processing time for partner visa? The question is from Haider. So partner visa, I believe you're asking about the partner visa for the like 820 or 309 things. And the processing time is around 8 to 1 year. Okay, right. So any more questions you have? So if you do have any more questions, and then, like I said, you can reach out to Aussizz Group nearest, branch in the Aussizz Group. We are located in all the states and territories, and we do have a 40+ migration agent, and we look after the all the states criterias, all sort of visas, employee sponsor visas, student visas, and also like PY program, and 485 or maybe like partner visas, and all of the complex visas. Okay, so I'm just taking the last questions. And this is from Salika. Why Victoria don't give 190 visa for SAFE? Okay, so there was an invite for the SAFE, and that was for the 491. Okay, so yes, there was not invite for the 491, so there is no definite reason why they are not inviting. And let's say couple of rounds, right? And then if they are like not inviting any SAFEs in the 190, then go for the 491 too. But for the 491, you must be working in the regional. And let's say, because they can't invite all the occupation in one go, so obviously they will select some occupations, and also from they're gonna shuffle the occupation. So now in next invite they will focus on different occupation. Okay, so last question from Florencia. So for the 482 visa, I have 2 years of experience overseas. It is valid? Yes. So for the 482 visa, you need 2 years of experience. It can be overseas, it can be onshore, offshore, it can be with the multiple employer. Yes, you are valid. But you need to show that you have a full-time experience with the reference letter, with the duties, also the payment evidence like pay slips, bank statement, or tax. Okay, guys, thank you for joining here, and it was a really good session, and I believe that I have provided the your answers, and because it is a live session, and I cannot give you the more details. It's just the general information only. So if you really need your more detailed migrations advice in relation to your particular circumstances, you can contact nearest Aussizz Group branch, or you can also contact me. I'm based in Sydney, and then I can help you with any your further migration journey. Okay, so thank you for joining here, and happy Friday. Thank you all.